Okay, before we even say hello properly, I have to tell you something. 3 days ago, I was standing in a train station in London and a voice came over the speaker, and I swear my brain just froze. Not one word made sense.
Wait, none? Not even the station name?
Not even that. And here's the strange part. My English is fine. I can read books, I can write long emails, I can talk with you for hours. But that fast, real, native speed English, it felt like a completely different language.
You know what? That's actually perfect because that is exactly today's topic. And honestly, it still happens to me too, even now.
Welcome back to Rose and Jack Everyday English. We're so happy you're here. I hope yesterday's episode helped you a little. Today is day 21 of our 30-day B1 to B2 challenge, and today's topic is how to understand fast English conversations.
This is one of those topics almost every English learner asks us about. You study for years, you understand grammar, you have a good vocabulary, and then a real native speaker talks to you at full speed, and suddenly you feel completely lost.
By the end of today's episode, you'll understand exactly why that happens and, more importantly, what you can actually do about it. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it.
So tell me the whole story. What happened at that train station?
Okay, so I was in London for a work trip and I needed to catch a connecting train. The announcement came on and the woman was speaking so fast and with an accent I wasn't used to that I only caught maybe 2 words out of the whole sentence. Everyone around me just kept walking calmly like they understood perfectly, and I was standing there thinking, did I miss my train? Am I on the right platform?
That sounds stressful. What did you do?
I actually had to ask a stranger to repeat what the announcement said, and I felt so embarrassed because in my head I thought, I'm supposed to be good at English. Why can't I understand this? But now looking back, I realized the problem wasn't my English level at all. The problem was that I had only practiced slow, clear English, the kind you hear in textbooks or in language apps, and I had never trained myself to catch fast, natural speech.
That is such a common experience. And honestly, I had almost the exact same feeling, just in a completely different situation. When I first moved into a shared apartment with 3 native English speaking flatmates, I thought my English was strong enough. I could hold a full conversation, order food, even joke around a little. But every single morning in the kitchen, they would talk to each other so fast, using slang, cutting words short, laughing at jokes I didn't understand. And I would just stand there with my coffee.
Oh, I know that smiling and nodding feeling so well. It's like your brain gives up trying to process every word and you just focus on looking like you understood.
Exactly. And one morning, it actually caused a real problem. One of my flatmates made a joke, something like, "Guess who's in trouble again?" And everyone laughed. And I laughed too, just to fit in. But it turned out the joke was actually about me, something I had done the night before. And I had just laughed along without realizing they were talking about me. When I finally understood, days later, I felt so silly.
That's actually kind of funny now, but I bet it didn't feel funny at the time.
Not at all. At the time, it made me feel excluded, like everyone else was part of this fast, natural English conversation, and I was outside of it, just watching. It really affected my confidence for a while because I started avoiding conversations in the kitchen, and I would just eat quickly and go back to my room.
That's such an important point, though, because a lot of learners do exactly that. When you can't keep up with the conversation, instead of trying harder, you actually start avoiding conversations completely, and that makes the problem worse, not better.
Exactly. And that's what I eventually realized. Avoiding conversations wasn't helping me improve at all. So one day I made a decision. Instead of eating quickly and escaping to my room, I stayed in the kitchen a little longer. And every time I didn't understand something, I asked a simple question like, "Sorry, can you say that again a bit slower?" And at first it felt uncomfortable because I didn't want to seem like I had a lower level.
But actually, that's such a smart move because native speakers usually don't mind at all. Most people are happy to slow down if you just ask politely.
That's exactly what I learned. Every single time I asked someone to slow down, they didn't judge me. They just repeated it more clearly. And slowly, my ears started to get used to their speed, their accent, and even their slang. It took weeks, maybe even a couple of months, but eventually I could actually follow full conversations in that kitchen without feeling lost.
That's really encouraging because I think a lot of learners believe understanding fast English is some kind of natural talent, something you either have or you don't. But really, it sounds like it's a skill you build with time.
100%. And what about you? After that train station moment, what did you actually do? Did that experience change how you practiced English?
It completely changed my approach, actually. Before that trip, most of my English practice was through slow podcasts made specifically for learners or textbook audio where every word is pronounced clearly and slowly. After that embarrassing moment at the station, I realized I needed to train my ear for real, fast, everyday English conversation, not just the slow, clean version.
So, what did you start doing differently?
The biggest change was that I started watching English shows without subtitles, even if I only understood 60 or 70% at first. In the beginning, it was frustrating because things just went over my head, and I kept pausing every few seconds trying to understand each word.
I actually disagree a little there. When I was learning, I found subtitles really helpful because they let me see the words while I heard them, and that helped connect the sound to the meaning much faster.
That's fair. And I think subtitles definitely have a place, especially in the beginning. But for me personally, I noticed that when I relied only on subtitles, I was reading more than I was actually listening, and my ear wasn't improving as fast as my reading was. So eventually, I removed the subtitles completely and just let myself struggle a little and force my brain to focus purely on the sound.
Okay, that makes sense actually, because struggling a little in a safe way probably pushes your brain to work harder to catch the meaning from context instead of depending on the text.
Exactly. And that's when I discovered something called shadowing, where you listen to a sentence and then immediately try to repeat it out loud, copying the speed, the rhythm, even the little pauses. At first, my mouth couldn't move fast enough, and I sounded nothing like the speaker. But after doing it daily for a few weeks, something clicked, and I started noticing that my ear could catch words much faster than before.
That's really interesting because it's not just about listening passively. It's about actively training your mouth and ear together.
Right. And I think that's the real secret behind understanding fast English conversations. It's not about knowing more vocabulary because, honestly, most of the words native speakers use in daily conversation are simple, everyday words you already know. The real challenge is training your ear to catch words when they're connected together, spoken quickly, with sounds blending into each other.
That's such a good point, because in my kitchen situation, it wasn't really the vocabulary that confused me either. It was more that words got shortened, blended, and some sounds almost disappeared completely. Like when someone says, "What are you doing?" it often sounds more like one quick sound instead of four separate words.
Exactly. And once you understand that pattern, your brain starts recognizing it automatically. And suddenly, things that used to sound like fast, confusing noise start to sound like normal, clear English.
I remember the exact moment that happened for me. It was maybe 2 months after moving in, and one of my flatmates was telling a long, fast story about something that happened at his job, full of slang and quick sentences, and I realized halfway through that I was actually following the whole thing, without translating in my head, without feeling lost at all.
That must have felt amazing.
Honestly, it felt like a real turning point, because before that, I felt like an outsider in my own home, just listening from the outside. But after that, I actually felt like part of the conversation, laughing at the right moments, asking follow-up questions, even adding my own comments.
That's such a powerful feeling when a fast conversation suddenly makes sense and you realize you're not translating anymore. You're just understanding directly. Can I tell you something else that helped me a lot? Something I never expected?
Please, go ahead.
After that trip, I actually started paying attention to different accents on purpose, not just one type of English. Before that, most of my listening practice was American English because that's what I grew up watching in movies. But once I started traveling more for work, I realized fast English doesn't only mean fast, it also means different. A fast Scottish accent sounds completely different from a fast Australian accent, and both sound different from a fast Indian English accent, which I hear a lot with clients.
Oh, that's so true. And I think a lot of learners don't even think about that part. They assume once they understand one type of English clearly, they'll understand everyone. But real conversations happen with people from everywhere.
Exactly. So I started deliberately listening to interviews and podcasts with speakers from different countries. Just short clips at first, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And I would notice how certain sounds changed completely. Some accents drop certain letters, some accents stretch vowels longer, some speakers barely open their mouth when they talk. And in the beginning, it honestly felt like starting from zero again.
Did that feel discouraging, having to adjust again after already making progress with one accent?
A little at first, but then I realized something important. Once your ear learns to adjust to one new accent, adjusting to the next one becomes faster because your brain already knows how to search for meaning through context instead of panicking over every unfamiliar sound. By the third or fourth accent, I wasn't scared anymore. I was actually curious, almost like solving a small puzzle each time.
That's a really healthy way to look at it, turning something stressful into something like a game.
It really did become like that for me. And funny enough, understanding different accents also helped me at work because now when I'm on a video call with clients from different countries, I don't freeze anymore. I just relax, listen for the key words, and let the meaning come together naturally instead of trying to catch every single sound perfectly.
That's such valuable advice, honestly, because a lot of learners think there's only one correct way English should sound, when really the whole world speaks English differently, and being comfortable with that variety is part of becoming truly fluent.
Exactly. And that's really the heart of today's topic. It's not one big secret trick. It's a combination of small habits. Asking people to slow down, practicing without subtitles sometimes, shadowing native speakers, getting comfortable with different accents, and simply not giving up when a conversation feels too fast at first.
And trust me, if two people who literally host an English podcast still get confused by fast native speakers sometimes, you are absolutely not alone in this.
Definitely not alone at all. It's a completely normal part of the journey from B1 to B2. And honestly, even beyond that.
Okay, so now let's actually show everyone how this works in real life. Let's imagine we just met at a friend's birthday party, and the music and the noise around us is making it hard to hear each other clearly, kind of like a real fast conversation situation.
Perfect. I love this. Okay, let's start. Hey, Jack, I didn't know you were coming tonight. How do you know Sarah?
Oh, we used to work together a few years back. Small world, right? Sorry, could you say that again? It's a bit loud in here.
Oh, sure. No problem at all. I said, how do you know Sarah? Did you two work together?
Yeah, exactly. We worked together at a marketing company downtown. It was actually my first real job after university. What about you? How do you two know each other?
We actually met at university. We were roommates for almost 2 years, and honestly, some of my best memories are from that time. Wait, sorry, someone's talking really fast over there. Could you repeat the last part?
No worries at all. I was just saying that's really nice. Having a roommate you stay close with for years is pretty rare these days.
It really is rare. And see, this is exactly the kind of moment we're talking about today. The music is loud, people around us are talking fast, and instead of panicking or pretending to understand, we just calmly say, "Sorry, can you repeat that?" Or, "Could you say that a bit slower, please?"
Exactly. And notice how natural that sounded. Nobody got embarrassed, nobody judged the other person. We just kept the conversation going smoothly. Let's try one more example, a slightly different situation this time.
Sure, let's do it. Okay, imagine we're at a coffee shop and the barista is speaking really fast because it's a busy morning rush. "Hi, can I get a medium coffee with oat milk, please?"
Sure thing. That'll be $4.50. Do you want that for here or to go?
Sorry, could you say that one more time? I didn't catch the last part.
Of course. I asked if you wanted that for here, meaning to drink inside, or to go, meaning you're taking it with you.
Oh, got it. Thank you. To go, please. See, that felt so smooth, and this is exactly the skill we've been talking about today. Staying calm, asking for clarification politely, and not letting a fast sentence stop the whole conversation.
Let's do one final example, something a little more like a real, fast, natural conversation between friends catching up without stopping every few seconds.
Sounds good. Hey, I heard you finally moved into your new apartment. How's that going so far?
Yeah, it's been a bit hectic, honestly, unpacking boxes every evening after work, but the location is amazing, super close to the train station, so my daily commute is way shorter now.
That's great. Honestly, the commute makes such a big difference. I remember when I lived further out, I used to waste almost 2 hours every day just getting to work and back.
Exactly, and that's actually why I decided to move closer, even though the apartment itself is a bit smaller than my old place. I figured less space but more free time is a fair trade.
I completely agree with that. And honestly, it sounds like you made a smart decision. Let's pause here for a second and notice something. Did you catch how naturally that conversation flowed without either of us stopping to ask for clarification?
Right, and that's because we were speaking at a comfortable pace, using words we already knew, and connecting our idea smoothly. Exactly the kind of real, natural English conversation we want you to eventually feel confident having, even at a faster, more native speed.
So here's a small challenge for you while you're listening. Try saying our first example out loud, the birthday party conversation, or even the coffee shop one, and practice asking someone to slow down or repeat something using the exact phrases we used. Sorry, could you repeat that? Or could you say that a little slower, please? The more you practice these small phrases, the more naturally they'll come out when you actually need them.
That's such a good idea, because these phrases are honestly some of the most useful tools you can have in real English conversations, no matter your level. They're simple, they're polite, and they instantly help you stay in the conversation instead of feeling lost or left behind.
Okay, now let's slow down for a moment and review some really useful expressions that came up naturally in our conversation today.
Let's start with smiling and nodding. This means pretending you understand something by smiling and moving your head up and down, even though you actually don't understand. For example, during the meeting, I had no idea what they were discussing, so I just kept smiling and nodding.
That's such a common experience, and a mistake learners often make is saying smile and nod without the ing form. But in this expression, we usually keep both words in the ing form together, smiling and nodding.
Good point. Next, let's talk about keep up with. This means to stay at the same speed or level as someone or something. For example, the conversation was moving so fast that I couldn't keep up with it.
A common mistake here is saying keep up the conversation without with, but the correct form always needs with after it. Keep up with something.
Let's move to catch a word. This means to hear and understand a specific word clearly. For example, she was speaking so quietly that I could only catch a few words from her sentence.
True, and a natural alternative learners can use is pick up a word, which means almost the same thing. For example, I managed to pick up a few words even though the speaker was speaking fast.
Next is go over someone. This means something is too difficult or fast to understand. For example, the joke completely went over my head, so I just laughed along with everyone else.
That's a great one, and a common mistake is translating this word for word from another language. But remember, in English, it specifically means something was too complex or fast to understand, not literally going above your head.
Let's talk about blend together. This means when sounds or words connect and become difficult to separate. For example, in fast speech, the words often blend together so it sounds like one long sound instead of separate words.
Exactly, and a more natural alternative is saying words run together. For example, when native speakers talk quickly, their words often run together.
Let's review get used to. This means becoming familiar or comfortable with something over time. For example, at first, the accent was confusing, but eventually I got used to it.
A common mistake is saying I get used without to, but you always need to plus a noun or the ing form, like get used to something or get used to doing something.
Let's start with smiling and nodding. This means pretending you understand something by smiling and moving your head up and down, even though you actually don't understand. For example, during the meeting, I had no idea what they were discussing, so I just kept smiling and nodding.
That's such a common experience, and a mistake learners often make is saying smile and nod without the ing form. But in this expression, we usually keep both words in the ing form together, smiling and nodding.
Next, turning point. This means an important moment when something changes significantly. For example, that morning in the kitchen was a real turning point for my confidence in English.
True. And finally, let's talk about stay in the conversation. This means continuing to participate actively instead of giving up or going silent. For example, even when I didn't understand everything, I tried to stay in the conversation by asking questions. Let's look at some common mistakes B1 learners make when talking about understanding fast English conversations.
First mistake. Incorrect. I cannot keep up the conversation. Correct. I cannot keep up with the conversation. We always need with after keep up when talking about following speed or pace.
Second mistake. Incorrect. This is going over my mind. Correct. This is going over my head. Remember, the expression always uses head, never mind, even though they seem similar.
Third mistake. Incorrect. I am used to understand fast English now. Correct. I am used to understanding fast English now. After used to in this meaning, we always use the ing form of the verb, not the base form.
Fourth mistake. Incorrect. Can you repeat again, please? Correct. Can you say that again, please? Or simply, can you repeat that, please? Using repeat and again together is unnecessary because repeat already means to say something again.
Fifth mistake. Incorrect. The words are mixing together. Correct. The words are blending together, or the words are running together. Mixing isn't wrong exactly, but native speakers naturally use.
These small corrections might look simple, but making them naturally in real conversations is exactly what moves you from B1 to B2, sounding not just correct, but genuinely natural.
All right, everyone, here's today's comment challenge, and we really want to hear your honest answer below.
Tell us about a real moment when fast English completely confused you. Maybe at an airport, in a meeting, watching a show, or talking with friends. What happened, and how did you handle that moment?
Try writing your answer in English using at least one expression we reviewed today, like keep up with, go over my head, or get used to. Don't worry about writing it perfectly. This is real practice, and we'll be reading your comments.
Take your time, be as detailed as you can, and remember, every single comment you write in English is one more step from B1 towards B2. We genuinely love reading your stories, so please don't be shy. Share it below.
Thank you, friends, for listening to our today's episode. I hope you learned something valuable from it, and I hope you feel a little more confident about understanding fast English conversations after today.
You've come such a long way already, and staying consistent every single day, even just 25 minutes like this, is exactly what builds real, lasting fluency over time. We're genuinely proud of everyone showing up daily for this challenge.
Don't miss tomorrow's episode, Day 22 of our B1 to B2 challenge. Subscribe now so you don't fall behind, and make sure notifications are turned on so you never miss a new episode.
See you tomorrow, friends. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, every fast conversation you understand today is proof of just how far your English has already come.